Chamber of Commerce. We got who's singing this? What song is this?
First of all, this is my hero from high school, the one and only Madonna, and this was her first big hit, "Holiday." You can dance to it. Do a little chair dancing.
Chair dance. Oh, okay.
Move the shoulders. Do the overbite.
You bite your lip.
Do the overbite.
Bite your lip. Bite lip.
When I was a junior in high school, Madonna came to Melbourne, Florida to do a concert at Florida Institute of Technology, and I got to see her. She was on her way to superstardom. And Holiday was one of her biggest hits, maybe her only hit. Maybe her only big hit at that time.
Do you like this?
I like it's got a mind of its own. It's as if it's channeling what's going on in your brain. It's following your brain waves. I want to thank Dr. Joy Gallagher for dropping that off.
All right, so what's happening?
Wait a minute. Make sure we look into the camera. Let's get that hair back.
All right, so what's up with Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce? We got spirit going on. Everything's going.
Well, it's hard to believe, but we are 9 days away from the end of the year, 3 days away from Christmas. Hanukkah has ended, and it was a jubilant ride for the last 8 days.
That. Wow, I like the word.
Listen, I am counting on the holidays for all of us to lift our spirits, help us find our joy again, and let's be sure that we're out there supporting our restaurants and retail. I just had a lovely lunch on Giralda, tried out a relatively new restaurant that is known for its Thai street food. It's called Kusan Road. It's named after a very famous district in Thailand that the owner visited and was inspired for his menu. And I had amazing chicharron pork belly. Amazing. Dumplings, steamed dumplings, and then my personal favorite, the drunken shrimp. So it's a great lunch. I had lunch with our chairman, Brian Barakat, to close out the year, catch up and talk about all things chamber and see what the plan is for January 2021. We are rocking and rolling. We want to have a big finish and a big flourish to open. Finish and then flourish.
Well, did you see the front page of Coral Gables News this week?
Let me tell you something. So I'm sitting there, and this gentleman walks by, and he's carrying the magazine, the newspaper, and I think I see myself on the cover, but you know, my mother taught me not to be overly vain. So as he came back, he stopped to say hello. This is a guy who is always in freebie. He's not the driver. He just rides around in the freebie all day.
Lucky him. And
he's living life large. And he says, I just read your article. And you know what I said?
What?
There will be a quiz on that.
And what was the story about?
It's talking about small business. And let me tell you,
all season long.
Thank you for the front cover. Thank you for always supporting our chamber, our, ideas, my articles, our motivation, our call to action, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for doing that. And it was an unusual cover in that you did a side by side.
Well, because
I liked it.
We would like to let everybody know that you are on the top right.
That's where your eye naturally goes. Right? Isn't that where your eye naturally goes to? Oh, here we go. You do everything here. Look at this. Here it is. I'm in my favorite color, orange. Can you see that, everybody?
Let's see. There you are.
It's an orange color. So it's shop small all season long. And listen, I think the call to action here, and by the way, I'm next to a member of my extended family, a bear named, I don't know what his name is, Dollop? No, that's the elephant. Hank. Oh, maybe this. Yeah, it's a sloth bear. Oh, it's true. It should be Hank Trowbridge.
There we are.
We're very sloth-like in the Trowbridge family.
I know you're wearing Gator colors. I just want you to know, I loved that game. Alabama was a better team. Florida said, nope. We're going to compete.
We're going to show up.
Yeah, and then Alabama hammered them, and they said, nope. We're going to show up more.
Gosh, we were down at one point, I want to say maybe 31-17 or something.
Yeah, that last touchdown right before half was a crusher.
If they had not let that happen, I think we opened the second half totally different. We still scored on that first drive, but to allow them to score with less than 30 seconds left was just, listen, we talked about it on here.
I like talking about it.
I find our coach to be a little bit of a head scratcher for me. I still think it's weird that we took the timeout to go for two. He explained it afterwards, but we lost that timeout. And so,
right.
Not that I think you're going to do much after you take a sack on the last play of the game, but maybe you get one more shot at it.
Well, it's exciting. If they would have won that game, they would have been in the big dance.
Yeah, you can't keep even a 2-loss SEC champion out of the college football playoffs, and I think you end up jumping over A&M.
Come on, Notre Dame, please.
So who got the biggest kind of crushing blow on that? Is it Texas A&M? And I'll say this for our good friends at the Orange Bowl: what a win-win for them! What a marquee game they're going to have on January 2nd with Texas A&M and UNC.
Well, it's exciting. Texas and Jimbo was a class act. It is what it is. We're going to move forward. What are you going to say?
He lobbied pretty hard before that.
Oh, he says once it
was decided. And listen, they'll be here ready to play. But, Mac Brown, boy, what he did to get his team ready to play in Miami. Remember, they were just here a couple weeks ago.
Mac Brown. Who's Mac Brown?
UNC coach. He's going to be their opponent. They were just here. I know. Time. Can I tell you a funny thing that Mac Brown said when they interviewed him?
What?
He said, well, I played Texas A&M something like 11 times in my period of coaching at Texas. He says, and by the end of my time at Texas, the Texas A&M fans hated me and the Texas fans.
Well, North Carolina. Well, let's get back to I'm texting one of your love notes. Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
He said, how do you put somebody in the Final Four, Ohio State, who's played 5 games?
5 regular season.
And that was not agreed on at the beginning.
No, the rules were a minimum 6 games plus the conference championship. And that was the only way you would qualify. And then Big Ten changed their rules. By the way, the Big Ten changed about 5 different things. They moved. They said, we're not playing, and then we are playing. But we're not playing until October. Right? Then there was protocols in terms of the number of positive cases or contact tracing, and then they changed that. And then they changed the number of games that you had to play to get into that. And then here we are. So you know what? Do what I always say. Decide it on the field. And at the end of the day, they're going to have a rough time of it because, Dabo is already talking. And you saw that he rated them number 11 on his final ballot before the postseason, which, lets you know how he feels.
Speak about that coach. I respect him because he somebody said something bad about the Auburn coach and he defended the Auburn coach off,
Dabo Swinney.
Yeah. So
he went to Alabama.
Yeah. Let's talk about real important things.
Yes.
The new coach at Auburn. I hear they're trying to meet with Mario Cristobal.
They are
with cases and cases of money, and Nike is going to try to
keep him there.
Yeah. Well, he's a local boy.
He's a Miami kid. He went to University of Miami.
No.
He coached
at Columbus High School first.
Apologies.
Let's get it clear.
He coached at Alabama.
You know the greatest thing that happened to him? Garcia, the AD, firing him from FIU.
That's right.
Because if not, he would have been stuck there. And then he made more money going to FIU.
Yeah, and then he went to Alabama, and then he got the Oregon job. Now, has he been at Oregon only 1 season?
No. How many seasons, Tommy? 4 or 5.
There's another name floating around about Auburn as well.
Who? Butch Davis.
Lane Kiffin.
Oregon Ducks since 2017.
So it's his 3rd season. 4th.
Lane, where's he?
He's at Ole Miss. 1 year at Ole Miss.
And he did real well, right?
They certainly played with a lot more dynamism, great offense. They have Matt Corral, who's, a superstar. Listen, they gave LSU a heck of a run. They were winning most of that game, and then LSU did like they did to us. They had a renaissance in the last minute of the 4th quarter. Came back and won. I think, by the way, that game was like the Florida-Alabama game. I think it was 52-48.
So I'm a little confused. We're here to talk about the chamber, but we always talk about Gator football.
We always talk about football because I'm glad to talk about University of Miami is going to be in a great bowl game. They're playing against Oklahoma State. It's the Cheez-It Bowl. I assume that, every bowl gives great swag. When I worked for the Orange Bowl and the Orange Bowl committee, the student athletes got amazing gift bags. They'd get like a rolling tote bag, and they'd get a watch, and they'd get, all types of cool stuff that sponsors would put in it. Because that's the one time of the year where they can get gifts.
But see, people are very confused, and maybe you could clarify it.
I'll try.
All these people in the regular world think oh, this college is going to get $500,000 to play in this bowl, but they have to pay for the trip.
Yes, and some conferences like the SEC pool all of the bowl money. So if Alabama's in the semifinals and then the finals, there's a couple payouts there, right?
Right.
There's another SEC team. We're going to get a payout, but all that money goes to the SEC, and they divide it by 14.
Okay, but let's just
and so Vanderbilt is going to get the same payout that Alabama, Florida, LSU, and Georgia will.
Okay, but how much does it cost a team to come in?
It's probably like a regular game. They're probably there a little bit longer, but that bill, hotel is picked up by the bowl committee generally. But the ticket allotment is a lot more. Is a lot smaller this year than typical, and most teams, that's what they have to do is sell their allotment. That's part of the deal when you agree. I mean, think of the story of Army. They were shut out because their opponent declined. And then last night they got picked up and they're playing West Virginia. So I'm really excited about the bowl season. It won't be the same, but for many teams, it's a strong.
You got a fan there.
Bellwether. Hello, Aaron. Aaron, what are you wearing? Come inside.
You get fans all over the place.
Well, so George is welcoming us. How about convincing MCN? Which is you to do. I would love to be on Giralda Plaza. By the way, George just ate, as I mentioned, at a Thai street food place. We're trying to get them to join the chamber, but we've got a lot of great members out there. Clutch Burger, Koyo Tacos, Sandwicherie. I've eaten at all three of those this week because it's been the perfect week to sit outside.
We're testing microphones. And it probably is the wind.
Yeah.
We're going to try it tomorrow somewhere. If it works.
Is the wind windier than you are?
Yeah. But hot wind.
Hot wind.
Yeah, I'm hot winded.
Stephen Bradley would love to have us at Clutch. Nick would love to have us at Threefold Cafe. I'm sure the good folks at Koyo or Sandwicherie, and they're all there together. And let me tell you, I had lunch, as I mentioned, and there was just a lot of good hustle and bustle because I think people are wrapping it up in the next day, and then they're going to call it a year. I don't know if a lot of folks will be back next week or not, but if they are, still time to join the chamber between now and the 31st.
And there are 2 openings left for Gems, 4 openings for Chamber. So if you got 1 week and you have plenty of money, and you can buy it now for next year's membership. Am I correct?
That's absolutely right. We'll even not bill you until January of 2022.
That's what we're planning on.
So you get a little extra.
And Susan Ashley, thank you. Nice shirt. Well, I got a compliment. You didn't say anything about my hat.
The shirt is very nice. It's a lovely aquamarine color.
All right, so holiday spirits here, family, fun.
So tell me, are you feeling it yet? Because I think that I'm still struggling to get into the holiday mood. I'm not a big decoration guy.
What do you mean? I'm in the mood.
I see that. Oh, for the holidays.
Yes. Family, fun, and friends.
I would say 2 things. So I don't do a tree. I don't do really any holiday decor, no outdoor lights. But, I told you my niece and nephew have moved back here.
You light up Miami Springs. So
they're super into that. And so, he put the lights up.
At your house or his house?
At his house. They got a beautiful tree. They got this giant stocking on the front door that kind of scares the dog. And, they're just, they're going to help me get in the spirit. I'm going to go see Mother Tro tomorrow.
Mo Tro.
We got into a big fight yesterday. Can I just talk about that for like 2 seconds?
Hold on. Let me put my shrink bill in. Okay, go.
So, she's 83. I love her. We're very much alike, and yet we're very different. And I found out from my sister that my mother went to get like a free turkey. Now, she's not in tremendous need. And, if that were the case, then, we'll take care of that, right? My sister and I. But I said to her, there's probably a lot of families that right now are incredibly food insecure. I said, did you really need to go and get a free turkey? She said, they told us it was free. So then she was mad at me. She was super mad at me. And now I told her I didn't really want turkey also for Christmas because, we had that at Thanksgiving. And so she said, what would you like? And I said, let's do something really out of the box. Let's barbecue, or let's have lasagna or something different. Some of my other favorites. Anyway.
Why is it based around your food? What about your sister? Isn't she important?
My sister would just as soon eat a Wendy's hamburger, I think.
Of course.
It's part of the family tradition, but I don't know. My sister pretty much gets what she wants 364 days of the year.
Okay, so we got family. You got family, fun, friends.
yeah.
So you talk about your family.
So I
about
think
your
we're all tired. I think we're all kind of tired of being tired. And so what I would tell you is that, use the next 10 days to recharge your batteries. I'm a extreme extrovert, and so I typically draw my energy from these interactions. You're the same way. So being with you starts to get me in the spirit, but it also reminds me how lucky I am that while I don't have a lot of family here,
Wait.
I
consider family.
but I have friends who are my family.
Well, your good friends Sarah and Mario.
So, they had us over for dinner, a little Christmas pre-holiday feast. You know what they served?
I saw you watching the Alabama game.
We watched the Florida-Alabama game
feet were
together.
up? Was that yours?
I don't think so.
Thank goodness.
Who was posting photos?
Sarah or Mario, one of the two.
I was wearing chancletas. I was wearing Florida Gator slides.
No, it wasn't you.
And I just had a pedicure, so my feet look good. They look a little rugged. It might have been Mario.
I think Mario.
Mario, he was the man. We had stone crabs.
From Joe's?
He got them from one of his hookups that he has, one of the fish markets.
Good,
amazing jumbos.
I like that.
All local, big jumbos. We had coleslaw, which was made from the Joe's recipe. Amazing, with the tomatoes, on top. We had tater tots, because those are my favorite.
Made from?
Taters.
Okay.
And tots.
Okay.
And then what do you think we had for dessert?
Ice cream brownie.
Well, that would have been a good idea. But what do you have when you go to Joe's?
You asking me?
Yeah.
A brownie this big with ice cream on
top. Oh, you have that there? I always have that key lime
pie.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Sarah, that's her favorite. And then I brought from Fireman Derek's a chocolate peanut butter pie, which was really great too. Well, so we rolled out of there because the game went to almost midnight. It was right down to the wire. Florida had the final possession. We were down by 6. Pretty cool. And listen, you want it to be a good game. You want all the conference titles to be a good game. Cincinnati won in the last second with a field goal over Tulsa. It wasn't so great in the ACC because Clemson got out to a pretty big lead. The Ohio State game was tight until third quarter.
I know you like key lime pie from Joe's, but you know who has a better key lime pie?
Tell me.
Redfish.
I do think Redfish does. They are not a member, and I always tell Uncle Rodney.
They are not. Has anybody asked them to be members?
That could be the situation. They were members because they had a joint membership with Christie's with the ownership group.
So nobody has called them. Miss Donner, she's on the board, correct?
She is.
Can you
She's so
text
good
Rodney
with that.
Beretta right now and ask him to join the chamber?
We've got her working on so many things. Amy is such a trooper. She's also helping us with the new restaurant, Public Square, that opened in the Gables, the old Shula's place that's owned by Grove Bay. We've got her working on a number of things.
Well,
and I'm having dinner at a new member that's in the South Miami area tonight called Coffee Talk.
If you want to know anything about it, go to my Instagram or Community Newspapers. And I did a show.
I watched your MySpace page, and you did a great job on that.
Well, and so, Amy, when you call on Rodney,
thank you for laughing, Tommy.
They have a restaurant outside next to the boats too. So if Redfish doesn't, the other one will.
So we took Sarah and Mario, speaking of them, to Redfish for their 30th anniversary a few weeks ago.
They're a cute couple.
They're super cute, and the dinner was fantastic. And we ate and drank, and we rolled out of there. And Sarah regaled us with stories. Yes, regaled us with stories about when her mother would take her and her brother there to go swimming, and for $1, they had the most amazing fries. And so you go up.
What years was that?
Probably 70s.
I just want to make it clear. 1973, 1974, and 1975. I was the head cashier at Maston Hammock's restaurant.
So you know about the fries.
Look at my waist.
$1, and they would be piping hot. And Sarah says that she would burn her mouth pretty much every single time.
Well, I was probably one of the guys.
I'm going to ask her that. She said there was a creepy older guy that would follow.
I was in high school.
Oh, that wasn't you.
That was the other creepy guy.
But my thought is, I don't know about eating fries and you're in a wet bathing suit and there's probably sand in your suit. And
Yeah, but they're fries, and they were big fries. They were
no,
good.
she said they were incredible.
Yeah.
And then I said to her, someone should talk to Chef Adrian about that, because what a great homage to have something on your menu that goes back to the earlier days. Because by the way, that building is still the original building.
That
It's
was a
just
bathhouse.
been, and that where all those windows and doors are, those were all open, completely open.
I worked at a
And we used the restroom in the restaurant was super busy, so we went outside to
the outhouse.
the public restrooms and went there, so we didn't have to wait.
You know who hangs out there a lot? Pitbull.
Really?
There's when you walk in, right near the front desk, there's a little room to the right.
Yes, past the restrooms. Mm-hmm.
Right. That's Pitbull. He hangs out there.
Well, he was not there that night, but it was super busy. It was a Friday evening. I had the fried chicken, but my favorite thing were the conch fritters. We had 2 orders of that because they were so good. George, I had the Perry's pork chop on Friday for lunch because you can get it on Friday. It is the best thing going, that double cut pork chop. Unbelievable. Served with whipped potatoes and applesauce. I am all in. Perry's is a great member located in Merrick Park. By the way, they're doing incredible catering. We had a little holiday event last night with very dear family friends, and I was in charge of the food, and I picked up from Perry's prime rib, Caesar salad, mac and cheese, and ready for it, an unbelievable shrimp.
Right.
Shrimp cocktail.
Okay, 2020. Silver linings.
So
There's so many great things that happen.
There are silver linings, and I think we get bogged down in the last 10 months. But how about our healthcare workers? How about the fact that from start to finish, we had a vaccine ready to go and be administered in under 8.5 months? I mean, that's unprecedented.
Trump did say he was going to get it done.
He did.
And people don't realize
but he employed the military, which I think is very smart, with Operation Warp Speed. He told Pfizer, he told Moderna, he told all of these amazing pharmaceutical companies, like, do your best, collaborate, bring in academic medicine, listen to, the folks at the CDC, and kudos to the FDA for, expediting that. I think it's incredible. So put those people on your silver lining list. Teachers, how about parents teaching at home? Talked about our frontline essential workers in our hospitals and our urgent cares and our police and fire departments, many of whom were doubling as public safety officers. And you know what? Those are our silver linings. When we started in 2020, we were nothing but optimistic. It was an election year. It was the start of a new decade. It was an economy that was roaring. And listen, for our chamber, while it's been very difficult in terms of being together and recruiting new members, we have shown our nimble ability to serve. We've pivoted to be an advocate and resource like never before. And most importantly, let's be candid, we've been bigger collaborators, partners, and helpers than probably in the history of our chamber.
What I think 2020 taught a lot of people, as Clint Eastwood said, adapt, improvise, and overcome. And a lot of businesses have overcome a lot. A lot have failed, and failure is not over yet, but things have changed. Restaurant business will be different. New restaurants will have a lot of indoor, outdoor, correct?
I think so. I mean, I have eaten inside, I think, only at 2 restaurants. But, I'm trying to get back and be out eating every single day. So, yesterday went and tried out Sweet Green.
Where's
a
that?
New restaurant on Giralda, because we want them to join. They're out of the Northeast, and they're amazing salads. So I had salad with quinoa, sweet potatoes, and the dark meat of the chicken.
Did they join the chamber?
We are working on that. So they need to see me. I talked to Otto, their manager. Hello, Otto.
Otto, way to go, big guy.
And Teresa, who's training there as well. And then Otto will eventually open the Grove location. So there'll be a couple. So
some businesses didn't lose a beat and increased their numbers. So we're all learning how to adapt. And it's a little scary. To me, these next 2 or 3 months are more scary because everybody is
No.
thinking it's over. It will be over in 6 months, but it's not over yet. People are still getting it, so we all have to be very careful. And testing, by the way, is very easy. Go to Tropical Park
Yes,
testing. You make
that's where I go.
You make an appointment. Once you have an appointment, just go, and it's like that.
I went on Sunday because I'm seeing
I
my
did too.
mother. I went at 10 o'clock, seeing my mother on Wednesday. So
When did you get the results?
I had the results by 11:30 yesterday, 25 hours.
Right.
It was a little bit faster than the previous test 2 weeks earlier.
So people don't.
Nothing to be afraid of. You get right in those lines. You hold up your phone with your QR code. They zap it. They prepare your sample bag. They hand it through a tiny little crack in the window. You roll into the second part of the line. You're opening your package. You're swabbing. I have my own routine now after 3 times there. Double, 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 long
I did
on
the
my
same
tongue.
thing.
Because I don't want to be
one.
I don't want to be inconclusive. And I want to make sure that, I'm getting up in there. So fabulous.
So the major media, whoever that is, continues to say there's lines everywhere. There's a CDC, whatever, in Little Havana.
Yeah.
They have the barcode.
Yeah.
You do the same thing in your nose.
Yeah. PCR.
They test it within 20 minutes. You get the results.
Wow. So it's a rapid result, but it's more efficacious because it's a PCR test.
Right. But within from Little Havana to Gables, 15, 20 minutes.
Sure.
So people go get tested, be safe. But the next 2 or 3 months,
especially this holiday season. So if you're going to struggle to be around family, meaning you want to be around elderly parents or grandparents, or you want to be around folks that you haven't generally been around, then do yourself a favor. It's peace of mind, and go get tested. Even if you went today, they're usually open to 4. You may have your results by tomorrow evening. And then, Noche Buena is more comfortable and confident. You can really dig into your cajachina.
You're very... Wow. What's that? Oh.
Coming in hot. You were going to say I have a very good accent.
Okay.
That's
so
Senora Hufford, Toledo, Ohio, Sylvania Public Schools.
Let's talk about vaccines. Go for it.
So I'm very excited that we're beginning to see people now that we know posting on social media that they're getting the vaccines. I think you saw the president-elect get his shot yesterday, he and the future first lady, and he implored people to get the vaccine. So 3 things to remember. 1, it may only be a little bit longer. So continue to social distance, wear your mask, and take all the precautions we've asked you to do for the last 10 months. Wash those hands. Don't touch your face like I love to do. Second, if you begin the process, don't switch between Pfizer and Moderna and Pfizer. Start with Pfizer, 21 days, second
How do you do
Pfizer.
that? Do you know?
Don't really know, but we're learning a little bit each day. And I think the most important is that even after you get the vaccine, both doses, you're still going to need to wear your mask. You're still going to need to be social distance, because it will take some time for the rest of the country to catch up.
But if you
get your vaccine,
why do you wear the mask?
Because you could be a carrier. And, we're still learning about the efficacy of the vaccine. We're hearing between 90 and 95% that it is effective. But remember, it's still brand new. It was used on small sample sizes. So the good news is that with Moderna rolling in this week, about a dozen local hospitals have access
to
that.
People that already got it?
I do.
I know some people, and
my friend Matt Pinzer did it within the first 3 days because he works at Jackson,
and he's very active
and he's been very, very good at keeping the chambers and others. Doctors Hospital got their Moderna shipment yesterday. I think Nicholas is going to be in that mix, and they're immediately deploying those to their team, and
I love how the military, whoever it is, get them to there. And
Sure.
I think that when they do the teachers, they're going to bring it right to the school.
Listen, I heard from Mayor Daniela Levine Cava last week. She was doing a press conference. I think it was on Wednesday. And she said that Jackson Hospital, from Tuesday till that midday, had already administered 3,000 doses because they have quite an unbelievable system. And that's what it's going to take. Because remember, it isn't just 350 million doses. It's 700 million doses.
What's the first?
Because it's 2 by 2. Now, there will be people who may fear. I think we have to do a good job of reaching into our African American community and other minority communities who may be a little bit
They say
skeptical.
that the minorities are very skeptical. The blacks and Hispanics.
That's
That's across the country. I don't.
Yeah,
think,
it's
I
not
think
unique to Miami, but
Miami is not scared of anything. We're going to all do it.
I think we have to look at typical vaccination rates. I think we have to look at folks around how they engage with the flu shot and things like that. I haven't always been very good about getting a flu shot, but this year, as soon as Florida blew, our insurance agent said, time for you and your team to go get a flu shot. I said to everybody, I can't require it, but I can strongly suggest and urge you to get a flu shot. And I think when the time comes for our group to be vaccinated, which will likely happen through when our insurance company informs us and the process is a lot more open, and maybe we'll go to a Walgreens or a CVS like we did with the flu shot. I'm going to ask folks to go. We've intruded a bit on people's private lives, but we've done it for the betterment of the health of our team and the health of our community.
There's a huge percentage that says they're not going to do it.
Okay.
We can't force them. Let's get everybody else to do it.
But there may be consequences of that. So one, we already have some health compromising issues. Look at the adverse effects that COVID has had on the Black community. And a lot of that has to do with access, pre-existing conditions, and other compromises that just exacerbate that, that virus. And so we know this, we're learning more each and every day. So, but I want to remind you all, even after the second dose, please wear your mask. Please absolutely continue to wash your hands, social distance. We're starting to put our big toe in the water for gathering people, but it has as much to do with the positivity rate and the infection rate as it has to do with us being diligent and being, wear your masks.
Now that you know that this disease can be carried by your hands, how much less do you touch your face?
I just touched it now.
I know, I just brought it up.
I'm so unconscious in that. I touch way too much of myself, just head to toe.
A little too much information.
It's your holiday gift, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
but
a good ridden dance. What's that?
So the other side of the silver linings is that
you learn how to dance.
No, a lot of people are saying it's time to say good riddance to this year. I don't think this will be a decade starting year that lives on as 2 thumbs up. It sort of lives in infamy, as President Roosevelt would say, which is not a great thing. So,
okay, January 21.
So super excited about January. I have a psychological sort of response to turning the page on the new year. So, I see it much more hopefully. I see it much more positively. We'll still be dealing with 10,000 cases a day because we'll be dealing with a post-holiday, infection response. Bigger than that is just the fact that people, I think, will assume it's like a light switch. I don't expect positivity rate to change overnight between the 31st and 1st. It may actually go up because of gatherings at Christmas and on New Year's. So, but I think, psychologically, if we can just give it a fond farewell and a good riddance and put all of our proverbial positive eggs into 2021.
Dear 46.
So,
what is that?
So I think all of us know that when there are changes in presidencies, when there are changes in leadership,
like a running back or something.
So
or
number
Bob
46,
Kuchenberg
number 46 is Joe Biden, President-elect Biden. And so we did this 4 years ago, maybe not with the same sort of time and planning because it kind of came to us late. But we're writing him a love letter from the business community to say, here are things that we'd like you to think about. You made some campaign promises to help with business recovery, to help continue to be more aggressive with the pandemic. But what are other things? So, sometimes with a new president, you see changes in financial markets. Real estate, residential real estate has been very, very hot here in Miami and other parts of the country. So what does that mean? So our goal is to have 4 or 5 leading voices in those spaces. And our goal will be to showcase them and ultimately then use that as kind of a teaser for some maybe more in-depth conversation. So have invited Ron Sheffield to speak on the state of residential real estate. We've invited Susan Harper, the Consul General of Canada, to talk about where she sees trade headed.
Who's that?
Consul General of Canada here in Miami. She can talk big picture on foreign direct investment, and they're one of our biggest, if not biggest, trade partners. How will that impact under a new presidency? Because we'll have a new U.S. trade rep, we'll have a new presidency, a new administration, and a lot of things that may be different.
Well, it's interesting, his panel.
And your friend Eric Eichenberg, we've invited to talk about
Eric,
to talk about the environment
why
and
is he
what
watching
a
today?
he's probably out saving the world because that's what he does.
Oh, it's interesting. We're not going to talk Biden's cabinet. Let's talk about more local stuff. New Year's resolution for the chamber, for you.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some good resolutions.
So I always do one overarching goal. So 3 years ago, it was to kind of tamp down online shopping. So for 3 months, I made no online purchases. Matter of fact, it shocks me that some of these folks that I buy online from were able to stay in business because, I love to buy online. So that went well. Last year, my focus was on working on my credit score. Worked with Chris Colston from Second Chance Credit, a member of our board, a great member of our chamber and trustee. And he worked with me. So he asked me 3 questions on our first meeting. How many credit cards do you have? What's your current credit score? And do you have any sense of what you owe? I got none of the 3 correct. I didn't know how many credit cards I had. I was absolutely wrong on my credit score, even the range. And I had no idea how much money I sort of owed. And so in a 1-year time, he helped me get my credit score all the way up to 799.
What does that mean for you?
For me, that means when I go to get my next car, I'll have a really great rate in terms of interest.
Did you get a new Mercedes yet?
I'll be getting one in probably January, February. I met
to-
with Greg Barnes on Friday to talk about
I have to talk
the
about
new
that.
Tro car.
I have to talk about
Tromobile.
I love that the president, Bill Usry, or Usry Motors, Mercedes-Benz, Accord, Gables, whatever,
Yes.
whatever, comes to you. That's a true sign of a champion.
Well, listen,
No, don't change the subject.
we were
Barnes,
talking
wait.
about other issues,
No,
but we
Greg
did talk
Barnes-
about my next car, and he's a great friend, a great leader, and a great gym member.
Well, no, it's a clear message to his staff, the team, that don't do it by a phone call. Go in person. So Greg Barnes, you know how they make a lot of money? 1 car at a time, 1 Benz at a time. So he figured, get you. Are you getting it in the now or in 2 weeks?
It'll be into January for 2 reasons. One, my lease is up in March, April. So you got to go about 3 months out.
Right.
And then there may be some 2020s that are looking for a new daddy.
A new poppy.
And I saw one there. My nephew actually saw it that I thought was pretty hot. It was black with a chocolate brown interior.
Mm.
I mean, that sounds like a chocolate Oreo, and I am down for
dying
that.
too. God. All right. So the resolution, New Year's resolutions we all.
And I don't know what it'll be this year, but the last 2 or 3 I've really stuck to, and I'm honestly very proud of that. But I had a lot of help. Chris was a lot of help, a lot of willpower. I don't have a lot of willpower. I pretty much I'm a guy that wants to find a way to yes. And sometimes that also relates to my own goals.
Like you were talking about the chocolate ice cream that has real like fudge in the middle. That's why I was just thinking that's unbelievable. But
Like
I have
Klondike
no willpower.
bar.
Yeah, I have no willpower. But I am deciding that desserts. I'm trying to one of my biggest resolutions: don't eat after 7.
Wow, that's tough for you because you're eventually like me back to the social circuit.
But I'm trying not to eat after.
So you won't eat anything. But sometimes you work out at night. So what do you do? Just have a nice protein shake?
But I'm trying out of the 7 days to eat earlier.
Listen, I just want you to know you're sending a very clear message that we cannot go out on a date because we'll have to go at like 4. Early bird.
Oh no, I'm up all night, so you don't have to worry about that. But one of the ways I'm trying to lose weight is that, and it's not losing weight. The New Year's resolution should not be about losing weight. It should now be healthier.
Right.
I read in Spain that 80% of the people that got COVID lacked vitamin D. Well, most people don't take a lot of vitamin D, so we have to just eat healthier and live longer.
I have a slight vitamin D deficiency, and so I take a pill for that. I
Okay.
don't know how well that works, but
It looks.
I
It's
think
doing
part of it is I
miracles.
don't go out in the sun a whole lot because I'm so fair skinned, and my doctor is always like, "Oh, you got to be really careful," and my dermatologist is always on my.
What? How many
my
doctors
butt.
do you go to a month?
Well, I wouldn't say a month, but
many
I'm
different-
changing to a new family doctor because he's at Doctor's Hospital, and we kind of interviewed each other at the end of last week. It was really cool. He made time to talk to me on the phone. I talked to him about what some of my goals were for 2021. I've lost some weight, but I want to continue
weight
on
have you
that
lost?
pace. It's about 60 pounds.
In what period of time?
A little more than a year because I was starting before COVID when I got my Peloton last December.
And Peloton, how long do you go on your Peloton?
So I can take a class 30, 40, 45 minutes roughly.
30 minutes.
Yeah, most of the classes are 30. If I just want to get on the machine, because I have a tread, not a bike. If I just want to get on the tread, I can just use it anytime. But if I do
treadmill.
a class, so the classes are more, they're more curated. So you might have a warm up on the tread. You might be off the bike or off the tread. But I love the warm down. You might be doing some glute bridges. You might be doing some planks. There's some weights involved. You're down on the mat.
I was wondering, you're looking a little, muscular there.
Well, I went to a dinner last night, and I'm pretty sure that my friend's wife let everybody know that when he dies, I'm the next guy up. I didn't know he was dying, but she made she made a great event, a great dinner. I brought the main course, but she made a great time.
Okay, so what other resolutions you got going for you personally?
So two big things that started kind of in COVID that I'll sort of formalize is I've fallen in love with taking care of my plants. I've just done a whole new flower bed, working on that with the nephew, and I picked things out down in Homestead. So I have in that a gardenia, a white gardenia, an ixora, hibiscus, because I live on hibiscus. I've got this unbelievable bougainvillea that blooms with these white, they almost look like when you clean like a test tube with, kind of like I don't even know how to describe that, but maybe those of you scientists know what I'm talking about. That's on a little trellis. And then I've got an alemanda. So there's 7 that I've planted. Oh, and a desert rose.
Wow. I see next month is Women's Network. That is virtual, correct?
There'll be some virtuality and some live. So this will have a lot to do with 3 things. Monitoring the positivity rate. We want to be 7% or lower in terms of that rate. We want to make sure people are still social distancing.
That's in January.
That's in January. And let's see how people vote. I think I can tell you that the New Year's event we're doing on January 12th, it's unbelievable. But Morgan, correct me if I'm wrong, but are we already at close to, I don't know, 100 people for that?
That want to attend?
They've already registered and paid because they're desperate to be in person.
Hallelujah! Thank you, everybody.
But we're
out there.
planning.
Thank you.
We're planning for that.
And how big's the room?
It's not a room. It's outdoor on the patio. And so yesterday, it's the giant patio in front of the fountains
At
the Biltmore, which is huge.
it's huge.
It's huge.
I want you to know, when people get out of the car and they're talking to somebody with 6 feet, I think we should have straps and have a ruler out, say 6 feet, 6 feet. But I think that people just getting out and go, oh, good to see you. I think everybody's going to feel great about that.
Well, I think they're voting right now with their feet. We've done very little promotion. Now, that's an event that used to have 400 people. So we obviously had to scale it back to 25%. Interestingly enough, the Biltmore said you can have up to 250 people. We've done the math. We know what that space is. But we're going for half of that, which is half of the half.
Okay. And where will they sit?
It'll be a standing event, 90 minutes only. So we've reduced it by more than an hour. There's food that you can pick up that is prepackaged.
I'm standing. Everybody's going to copy me now.
It's the Grant Miller stance. But the coolest thing about it is that we are talking with our members every day. So we did a poll last Thursday and we said, how do you feel about the following? An outdoor event. How do you feel about the New Year's event that might have 100 people, but it's outdoors in a very large venue? Overwhelmingly, between the folks that said yes and yes, but 60 to 75%. The unsures, Still a good number, 25,
And they
30.
should-
But you know what? They will just not attend.
It-
And we'll still be doing events virtually.
And 20% of the people that are attending already had the virus, so they don't have to worry about it.
There's a possibility of that. And by the time we get to January 12th, we'll have a few more people vaccinated.
medical
But you're going to have your temperature taken.
Wash
You're
your
going to
hands.
have to social distance. The area where you'll eat will be completely segregated because that's an area where you will remove your mask for a short period of time.
And you'll have somebody to wash your hands, possibly.
We'll have people as you come in with the hand sanitizer.
So we got, let's say there's 100.
you know?
I think 200 or 250,000 people already had the virus. So that's 10% of the 100 could be there
Could
that
be.
already had it.
And some will select to go because they have been infected.
And some people who got their shots.
So we're going to see. And you know what? We have every ability to say on January 11th, just not comfortable, so we're not going to do it. But
That
you have
area
to
is
plan.
huge.
It is huge. I went yesterday. I took a complete video of me walking it. It's 130 feet long by 100 feet wide.
So in the real world, people, you said how many feet long?
130.
That's almost a half a football field.
Yeah.
When
When you think about it, the football field's 300 yards, so a little more than 100. Yeah.
Yeah, so half a football field, it's like a scrimmage.
Yeah, 300 feet. Yeah, it's half.
Right. And that's very exciting.
We
Not
should
the
never
way-
have changed the metric system. You're confusing me.
Yeah, I think it's just the thought process. Everybody's going to go, wow, we're ready. We're coming out.
Yeah, but you're still going to have our Reconnect luncheon virtually. We're still going to do our book club virtually. Our women's lunch will be virtual. Our trustee lunch will be virtual. The breakfast we're also exploring doing in person, but the vote came back lower because it might be indoors. And so we're exploring about doing that in January outdoors. Right on the golf course. How fun would that be?
Oh, my.
With a beautiful January morning, a box lunch,
Where
a
you
box
li-
breakfast.
I've never been on the other side of the buildings.
So think about where the two ballrooms are that come together for the 4th of July, and then there's those beautiful steps that go down to the golf course. There's a beautiful patio area right there where we could do 100 people. Distanced, looking on the golf course, the morning.
The morning dew up. Oh, my gosh.
So we'll see. You know, we need to do a couple things. One, we need to see what our members are comfortable with. We ask them, they talk to us. They vote with their feet. They vote with their registrations in this case. We need to support our hospitality industry, which is incredible when you think about how much they've been through, how hard it's been for them. And third, and most part is we need to find the path forward in what our new normal is, but do it in a safe, judicious, and positive way. But we wouldn't do anything without our members talking to us.
Okay, we got a couple things to wrap it up.
Yep.
Gem lovers. Look at
So-
your house.
Oh, Mr. Miller. So in January, I'll be back with another gem member like we did earlier this month with
I
Lily
like
and
when you bring
Sir.
the gem members.
And we had a lot of fun. I have to tell you, you're like Barbara Walters during that session.
Was it good?
You're a little more hard hitting than you are with me because I think, you understand I'm weak and very soft. And I think there's an uncomfortable attraction there that we're going to explore.
Total attraction.
And then, most importantly, is,
Ooh,
we're helping those folks turn the page.
I like that gem
So
lady. who
I've
came.
asked Greg to come in with me.
Greg Barnes?
He probably won't do it in January, but maybe a little bit later when they're ready to talk more about their beautiful new project.
He's a big runner.
He is.
And
I
his
always
children-
say to him, we should go out and run together. And he laughs. I
And
guess he
his
thinks
children
I'm
are
joking.
runners too.
His son
Cross-country.
Trent won our 5K a couple years in a row. I think maybe he was
That's not fair.
17 or
Okay,
18.
He was a high school runner. Maybe he ran a college.
Well, can I tell you the best part of it? So this is one of the reasons we now do a 5K, 10K, is that he'd run straight through the finish line. I mean, he's like a rabbit, right? He would run that in less than 18 minutes. And then he'd be back through there again. I said, does he have a twin? They said, no, he just did a second loop. Because for a training run to only do 3.2, to do 6.5 is a little bit more.
Challenging.
Yes.
Okay, so
You remember the year that Gloria Burns ran in jeans, right? And she collapsed right before the finish line. Thank you, Gloria, for calling fire rescue to our event.
okay, gems. You got any new gems coming in?
So we're working on a couple. A lot of folks have said come back to us. Morgan Stanley being one of those. We have one that stepped away for a year that'll probably come back late 21. So we're at 21 right now. Our goal by the end of the year is to hold steady with that, and then next year is to grow it by another 4. 2022 to get up to 4.
I know it's not on our sheet. Can you
Oh.
talk about the diamonds again?
Yeah, the Diamond Awards were last week.
Who's the big winner? Penny, right?
So Penny Schaefer was our Business Leader of the Year. So I would certainly say that our opportunity to honor her was our great good fortune. We honored a longtime retailer, 75 years in the business, Jay Jewelers.
On Miracle Mile. That's even tougher.
On Miracle Mile and in Coral Gables, absolutely. They've been through it all. And then, our good friend, Mr. Wayne Bracken, he sent me a lovely text that said he had shared the video segment of when you delivered the award and surprised him as Santa and our interaction. He said he had over 4,500, and this was 2 days ago, over 4,500 responses, which was really, really cool.
Well,
that's viral.
Say that again.
Are you sending that to Mr. Bracken?
Yeah, wait, hold on. Okay.
So first of all, I think we have to give a shout out to Kids Medical. They won our outstanding healthcare entity and organization. And he shared with me in a text a couple days ago that he had shared the video of you showing up there, bestowing the awards, surprising everybody, elating the team in your Santa outfit. He said he'd gotten more than 4,500 views on that, which in this town is viral, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, speak about that. Speak about, so I show up to kids in a Santa outfit. There's doctors, professionals, smart people.
Do you have to inflate that once you get out of the car?
No, I jam it right in there. So I go there and they had no clue that I'm there, what I'm doing there. They thought I was like hired hand.
That was the whole point. We did that 5 times where we delivered it live and in person, which I thought was such a cool idea. Kudos to Erica on our team who really came up with that. But I kept saying to them, I don't want it to be where we drop it off the day before we mail it, because by the first award, if you don't have the award, you didn't win, and we want to create suspense over 10 awards. And so we had it timed out perfectly. So, you didn't really know because some were live and some were pre-delivered.
So Mr. Bracken of Kids looked at me like, what are you doing?
But he knew who you were, but not everybody there knew who you were.
But he introduced me, but I'm standing around wobbling in my big Santa outfit. And,
even in your Santa outfit, we're about the same size. I don't wobble.
Okay, I wobble. And all I know is it was,
you need
again,
to strengthen that core.
It was like the Emmys. They won the Emmys. They were going.
We were watching you live, which was the coolest thing because we had that feed from you, and then we obviously had our overall Zoom feed, and we had behind the scenes where we had our room where you saw us working behind the scenes. So again,
it was like the NFL draft.
The goal there is threefold. One, keep the Zoom fresh. We had done one other awards program on Zoom during our annual conference. And what elevated that one was that it was during our annual conference. But there's a chance that in March, we'll have to do something similar because even though it'll be on March 26th, we're still going to be very much in the vaccine stage. And I don't know if we can put 300 people in a room.
Well, unless you run a really, really big room.
Or we do a hybrids. We got the behind the scenes. We've got kind of a watch party over lunch. And then we have some of those surprise deliveries.
Right, we're about to close out. What is the Q1D21?
So that is my play on words, is that the next 3 months represent Q1 of 2021. So Q1 of 21. And what is it that's on your mind? What do you want to accomplish? What are your goals? How can you thrive now that you have survived? How can you be the best version of yourself in the new normal? And what pivots are we still going to have to do? And I'm not talking about Zoom. I'm not talking about e-commerce. I'm talking about you to stay fresh because we're all worn out. I will be the first to tell you that, when I started at the Chamber almost 15 years ago, I was in my late 30s. And listen, I had energy galore. And I'm still a pretty energetic guy. But this has been an emotional, physical, and very personal pandemic. We've all lost friends. We've all had friends who have lost loved ones. We have watched businesses close. We have seen our friends lose their jobs. I mean, if you are as invested as we as a chamber are, you not only really know your members' stories, you care about them, you love them. And that's our competitive advantage now and always.
Well, holidays are coming.
They are.
So
I'm concerned about what causes that to be so
electricity in my brain.
erratic.
So everybody, hope you have a happy holidays. We're going to be back here. You're going to be back next week.
Yes, we're going to be back next week. We're going to have a more resolution-focused show. But I want to make a note that Morgan has put in there the registration link to the New Year's Network. Remember, only 100 folks, so you want to make sure
Hey,
that
be paid up
you
front.
do. I think it's $10. I think it's pretty inexpensive.
That's it.
I think so. Morgan, am I right? Sometimes I just make up things. I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, I want from Grant Miller and Community Newspapers. Happy holidays. And Mark, can you close this out?
Well, we are celebrating. And even though it has been a year of challenges, heartache, and heartbreak, I can tell you two things. 2021 is just around the corner, and it is dripping in optimism. And I want you all to join me on that journey as we turn the page into Q1 of 21. Thanks for your confidence in us. Continue to support local business. And there are 3 shopping days left until Christmas. Get out, do a little retail therapy, spend big, shop small. Thanks, everybody.